Welcome to Straight to the Point. And wait, before you hit that like button, I've got a challenge for you. I'm about to tell you everything I've learned over the past 33 years about my favourite game for the Mega Drive, Sonic 2. For example, in Emerald Hill Zone, did you know that the last two scrolling lines for the foreground are corrupted? Here's the deal. If you didn't know that, press the like button. Whoa, you did? Okay, don't press it then. Let's move on. Were you aware that when you struggle to get up a slope or similar, Tails would then demonstrate the spin dash to show that this new move helps you overcome that obstacle? Did you know that? If not, now hit the like button. If you did, let's continue. How about when Sonic interrupts the panicked balancing animation, that there's a sprite that only appears for 1 frame? Okay, everybody knew that thanks to this lovable scamp, but you get the idea. Press the like button when you learn something new. However, if you make it all the way to the end of this video without learning a single thing, you then have my blessing to smash the dislike button. And every day for the first week, I'll keep the results posted in a pinned comment, as I did for my Sonic 1 video. But I have at least 2 secrets that I'm extremely confident you're not aware of, that there's gonna be 0 dislikes. Right? Anyway, were you aware that you could become Supersonic as early as Emerald Hill? That's right, in Act 1, there are checkpoints here, here, and here, making it possible to enter the special stage and collect 3 emeralds. Then in Act 2, you have this one, this one, this one, this one, and lastly, this one. That's 8 checkpoints in total, giving you room for 1 fail. So it's entirely possible to grab all 7 stones and become the Golden Hedgehog before Chemical Plant Zone. If you get knocked into the pipes, Sonic will start snapping from coordinate to coordinate, with the camera playing catch-up. He can either successfully exit the warp tunnel or die trying. Oh, and before travelling, if you manage to make this ledge, there are some secret monitors. You know the fast-paced loops near the end? If you jump from this slope, you can cut through this platform and skip a portion of the level. You can even use this technique in Act 2, right here. This helps skips everyone's worst nightmare, the rise in water section. If you struggle with this area, you can always grab this extra 1-up tucked away in the water each time to restock your lives. Perhaps you want a huge number of lives instead. When still in this area, make sure you have at least 1 ring and only 1 life. Let the drowning counter get so close to 0, then take a hit on these spikes. While in his hurt animation, he'll then drown and lose a life, but will also hit the bottom of the screen and lose another life, effectively losing 2 lives and putting the life counter into the negatives. It'll appear glitched, but you now have a whopping 255 lives. If you made it up here previously, you can jump into the wall and take a secret passage that leads you right to the boss area. And speaking of the boss, just duck to become invulnerable when Eggman takes a dump. Tails, on the other hand, cannot take any shipping into Aquatic Ruin Zone. Guess what Sonic and the Red Grounder get up to behind the bushes? Nothing, that's what. If you're behind some leaves, then bad notes cannot generally touch you. This is some collision priority errors happening here. The leaves can really play up though after you take a loss of life, respawn from a checkpoint, and then head all the way back to the start.
Wow, my head's spinning!
What's even worse, when you head back into your adventure, the leaves will then play catch-up. This really messes with my sense of speed. Act 2 initially introduces these 2 swinging platforms. The second one detaches from the swing and can then float across the water. I'm surprised many people weren't aware of this. Also, near the beginning, up on the top layer, there's a floating invincibility monitor which is impossible to reach. Anyway, here's a handy tip to speed your way through to the end of the zone. Take the lower route, hit the spring, press and hold down on the D-pad to roll, and you're on the way to skimming past a huge chunk of the stage. You can reach the end without worrying about drowning if you time your jumps right. And once you're in the boss arena, if it seems too quiet, you're just hugging the screen too closely. Tap left and the boss will start. A slight miscalculation on the event coordinates caused this issue. It even has collision issues, giving our heroes the ability to walk in mid-air. Casino Night Zone is not a place for the weak, so while I'm here, I need to clear up a big rumour. Pressing or holding A, B or C during the slot machines does not give you a better chance of a bigger reward. There's no code to back this up. I got Robotnik so many times trying to apply this theory, sometimes twice in a row, and by the time I got the jackpot, a time over prevented my success. You know what also takes a long time? This long cut. Yeah, it's a secret road that takes you on a longer course, but hey, at least it's a fun and bumpy course. By the time you make it to the scientist, when you land the first hit, his invulnerability durability frames take forever to reset. The wrong byte got set here, but the rest of the hits are normal, and this doesn't happen on any other boss. And apparently, Tails found this fact so boring that he decided to put on a show. Due to how some pinball collision tags interfere, Tails can sometimes start sliding about in his idle pose. Well, if Tails can cruise along, so can we into Hilltop Zone, which looks awfully familiar to Emerald Hill Zone. If you stand in the middle of the seesaw when the counterweight lands, you'll lift off with extra height compared to standing on the side. If you hit these Vexen bandits too quickly while they're coming out of their shell, the game can lock up. This is fixed with Knuckles in Sonic 2 and onwards, but just take your time on them. Now, Hilltop is known for its earthquakes, which causes the lava to rise, but if you manage to stick to the top route, the ground will tremble as an alternative. Looks a bit jarring in my opinion. Nevertheless, it's a nice change of scenery, I guess. But if you're supersonic, the lower way is probably quicker. But do yourself a favour, don't hold right here. Due to dodgy lava detection, you'll clip and die instantly. That may be scary, but as we head into Mystic Cave Zone, it's scarier that I don't have much to say. You can squeeze through this bridge if you're skillful enough in Act 1. It's much easier to do a Supersonic, however, and probably worth mentioning that in the original Sonic 2, this pit did not lead you into Hidden Palace Zone, and instead tortures you with spikes. And it's a long, gruesome wait if you're Supersonic. Hidden Palace does not exist in the final build. Well, it does if you enter a Game Genie code and then select Death Egg, but as the graphics are completely absent, it just appears in a garbled mess and it's very incomplete. Moving on to Oil Ocean, it's possible to skip most, if not the entire level, by just going under everything as so. Yet it takes a particular set of skills to do this, and as I don't have them, I couldn't show this off. What I can pull off is this bizarre, speedy anti-gravity gimmick. In this location on the 4th capsule, stand on the edge, then hold right. Keep holding right during the spikes, the cannon, and the fall. Then hold left to force your way out through the wall. And ta-da! You have gained a tremendous amount of speed and unlocked moon gravity. It's a lot of fun to see this in action, although it will reset if you collide with a spring or jump into a cannon. Hot tip, if you get hurt a lot during this clash with Robotnik, then smash this hidden invincibility box just before the battle. I can sometimes destroy him before he does all of his time wasting malarkey. On to the biggest zone of the game, Metropolis. Here's some advice, don't roll and jump into the yellow side springs. You'll soft lock yourself until the timer forces you out of it. And in Act 2, I only found this out while editing the video, but these 3 rings give you 12 rings. Okay, so I had a rule not to show sipping or glitching through walls or floors because most involve precise timing and key inputs on a singular frame and other stupid laws that the average Joe just doesn't have the patience to learn. But when that badnik sent me packing, I had to make an exception this one time because, in all honesty, this is so easy to pull off. Lower the nuts to the floor, then stand next to it. Look down so the camera pans down, then let go of down, then press the jump button. The camera will then wrap around. While wrapping, move right a tad without jumping so this screw, shank, thingamajiggy ends up in the middle of the screen. Sonic will now be in the nut. Finally, press and hold jump. Yowza! You've skipped to the end of the level! Defeat the boss, then on to Sky Chase Zone. Then on to Wing Fortress Zone. Hey, guess what? Sonic's too fast for these conveyor belts, so they're useless. Also, there's a pulley up here to help you shave a few seconds off your runtime. Before you get that far though, did you know that in this area of the fortress, there's a secret invincibility monitor? Now before all of that, most people are aware of this gigantic shortcut. When you come up to this slope, rather than going up and left, you know, the way you're meant to go, you can just take damage from these blades, then walk through them while invulnerable, skipping half the zone. Working back even further are these death pits. Forget them. I used to jump onto this platform and glitch through these fans to bypass all that. Why not combine both shortcuts? Skip the cumbersome death falls and half the zone to minimize your time. The reason why is if you're a sloth and you get a time over during this cutscene, when the level restarts, the sky will go berserk. It will eventually freeze, but in the completely wrong position, and then the cutscene acts more strangely than before. Don't worry, it will end the zone just fine. Psst, the next thing I'm about to tell you is going to earn me a like, because you won't know this. Did you know There's a secret extra life in Wing Fortress, so...
Yeah, we're all aware of the extra life at the top of the fortress.
No, not that one. I mean...
The one at the very end of the zone, stashed at the front of the ship. You're not fooling us.
No, not that one either. Just let me explain. Right about here, you take 2 sippers to progress to the boss arena. However, let's back up. If you take the first one, but ignore the second, you can lower yourself down a few stories. You'll find this pulley, which will lower you to the side of a wall. Inside is an obstruction. Break it. What do you know? An extra life. But, what now? Meh, let's just jump out of the plane. Nope. A gust of wind will blow you to safety where you can make your way back up. Come on, you didn't know that, right? Right?
Yes, Dad, I knew that too.
You're grounded. To the final level, which is Chemical Plants, Death Egg Zone. Sorry, the game is stealing other zones' art again. If you hit Silver Sonic on a particular frame, you can cause him to bug out, and you're once again at the mercy of the time limit. But I think we're done with the level specifics, but I'm not done with this video yet. For Sonic 2, all cheat codes are done via the sound test. I'll assume you're aware of them all, but did you know that if you enable debug, when selecting any level holding the C button down, it will enable night mode. This demonstrates the priority of layers, or in layman's terms, the shaded art is behind Sonic and the bright side is in front of him. But yeah, unlike Sonic 1, no inputs on the title screen exist. Or so you would think. When the sub-menu appears, press up, down, 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 then up. You'll hear a ring sound. Now Tails' name has changed to Miles. Pretty cool, eh? If you play Sonic 2 on a Japanese Mega Drive, his name is already set to Miles. However, doing the same cheat will change it to Tails. If you do the cheat again on either console, it will revert his name. We're nearing the end, but don't worry. Here are a few more things. If you have all the emeralds and over 50 rings when you pass the signpost, do not jump. Sonic will try and fail to transform into a super state and will get stuck in the air. As he can no longer walk off the screen to continue, the game has now soft locked and you have no choice but to reset the Mega Drive. Something cool you can do though is if you transform while invincible, the stars will stay with you and slightly glow. This doesn't change how Super Sonic plays in any way, but in my opinion, it makes him look more powerful. A random thing to mention, but Tails will never spawn into the water with you and will patiently fly above the waterline until you jump out. If you collect every single loose ring in an act, you'll gain an extra 50,000 points. It doesn't matter if you take a hit or if you miss a ring monitor, just scoop up every roaming ring to be awarded the perfect bonus. And now... in the special stages, there's a secret that I've only ever done once in my life, early on in my childhood. After over 30 years, I swear I just imagined it, as I was never able to pull it off again. Until now. You have no idea how many tries this took for me to do on real hardware, but if you're skillful enough to collect every single ring in the special stage, this perfect bonus suddenly appears after the tallying, and adds on another 50,000 points. If that didn't earn your like, then I'm fresh out. You can now press the dislike button. I mean, I have other tips like this riff in Metropolis' music if you pause at a certain time. Or the fact that you can't collect rings when you're stepping in lava. Because honestly, with this being my favourite Sonic game, I could be talking forever about it. In fact, I could tell you a few more in the stream very soon.